Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high achieving business owners and music artists who share with our audience the importance of building a strong community of like minded individuals on the road to greater success. Today's show, we have a special guest. It's Broadway Louie, and he's here collaborating with In the Know 360. Broadway Louie is based in sunny Jacksonville, Florida, where he continues to hone his craft and create impactful art. His latest album, Magic, is a testament to his artistic growth and his desire to uplift and empower women. With the tracks like Addicted and Looking, he celebrates the strength of beauty of a female spirit and reminds us all that we are capable of achieving greatness. In addition to his music accomplishments, the artist has also made a name for himself in the film industry. He starred in the hit series Soul Hood Saga on Amazon Prime, along with starring in Grime Street, a horror movie that showed his versatility while also appearing on the hilarious movie The Policy on Tubi. With his raw talent and dedication to his craft, there's no doubt that he's destined for even greater success in the years to come. Welcome, Broadway Louie.
Thank you, thank you,
Yay!
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the intro. That was an amazing intro. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. It's a mouthful, that's for sure.
I do a lot. They say I do a lot.
Yes, you do. I watched your videos. I mean, there's several videos that I watched of you, and I thought it was really dope, especially the one that I had posted on the story feed. So, yeah, I
Oh
see
yeah,
you're
yeah.
moving and shaking. Well, thank you so much, sir, for dedicating some time with me this evening. And I have several
Absolutely.
questions for you.
I look forward to them.
Okay. Well, let's get started here. Who or what inspired you to start a career in the entertainment industry?
I've kind of always been a person that that followed my energy.
Uh-huh.
Um, I grew up writing poems, and I had a natural love of rap and music. So I think that just grew together. I didn't really think about being an artist until I got out of the military, and a lot of people was telling me that I should try music out. As far as influences in entertainment, it starts from when I was younger, seeing Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, all these guys, these comedians, Chris Tucker, and then on the rapper side, Jay Z, Busta Rhymes, all these guys that were like defining who they were, but also
Mhm.
showcasing a persona, a brand, shall I say. And I think that I've always had this inner energy of being an entertainer because I love to make people happy. I love to bring emotions out of people. And with
Uh-huh.
music, I get to do that as well as with film. So I just think it works perfectly hand in hand.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you definitely have a gift, I see. Um, so
Thank
you
you.
mentioned that you were in the military as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What service? Branch of service.
I was in I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy for a few years, for 8 years actually.
Wow. And so did you do anything of this
Right, you
sort
got a little
while in the
delay. Can you
military?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, not at all. I had a I had a best friend of years, and one day we were in the car after I got out, and I said, "Yo, I want to be a rapper," and he said, "What? Rap what?" Like, And I was like, I want to be a rapper. He's like, bro, you can't rap. And I'm like, yeah, I can. So he was like, rap something. So I rapped, and he was just sitting there like, what? Like, where has this been the whole time? I always kind of like freestyle and always had fun, but I never like being an artist was never in my future. Like I never thought about that. And then as I got out and I got more acquainted with who I am and what I about what I'm passionate about, music just kind of I just walk right into that path. And when I grab a hold of something, same as with basketball, uh, I get really into it, and like I strive to be the best at it. Like I don't want to be mediocre at anything. My mother always told me like when you wash the dishes, dry them too. You can't do things halfway.
Mm,
So yeah,
I like that. I like
I
that.
like that.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you, absolutely.
Yeah, I was prior Army and currently I'm in the U.S. Public Health Service Commission Corps.
Thank you for
So
your service.
thank you. And the funny thing of how I started this was for therapy
Mm,
because I was deployed for COVID-19 multiple times. And I said, well, I need an outlet. So here I am. So moving on
and
to the
the universe
questions.
will push you exactly where you need to go.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that. Yes, most definitely.
It
I
will
love yeah, the universe definitely will steer me in the right direction.
every time.
So, can you recall the exact moment that you knew you wanted to pursue this career path? I know when you mentioned your friend, but can you elaborate a little bit more?
I would say probably about 2017. Uh, I just remember like telling all my friends like, after this I'm going to be on the radio, like because SoundCloud was a big thing, and but there was a stigma. You're a SoundCloud rapper, so you're not really making any money. Nobody really knows you, and I took that as like a challenge. So I said to
Hmm.
myself like, by the end of this year, I'm no longer gonna be a SoundCloud rapper. It just so happens like 3 months later, I ended up on the radio. I had songs playing in different states, and it was like, oh, I could really do this. Like this is real. And as I've gone along and just learned more and more, and things are like confirmation, certain performances, certain paychecks, certain
Hmm.
things have just been confirming like, hey, this is your path. Interviews like this. I worked really hard on this album, so the fact that I said to my team and myself like, this is gonna be my biggest album, and it has been my biggest album. It's a testament to my path, and I'm on the right path to doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes, you are. That's for sure.
Yes, you.
Especially the album, definitely. Like it really, every song, it's like eating a bag of potato chips, which maybe it's not a good analogy because that's junk food, but hey, whatever. It's you pop one in and you just gotta finish the whole bag. That's why I don't buy
Yeah,
potato chips.
yeah, 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 yeah. So when I was working on it, I was determined to make a cohesive project. I wanted a project that people could play all the way through, not have to touch it. You can do whatever. You could drive, you can cook, you can clean, you can go on a walk. You can do all these things listening to this project at different times. You could dance. So and also I wanted to make it feel like a trip through time. So you hear
Mm.
different samples, you hear different sounds, you hear different energies, and you're like, oh, that reminds me of the 70s. Oh, well, that reminds me of the 90s. Oh, that reminds me of right now. So I wanted to bring a few different flavors in so that everybody can enjoy it, but at the same time, you never want to turn it off. And then once it gets to the end, you just want to start it back over again.
Hmm. That's for sure. I I've listened to other songs, but yeah, that album right there, I was like, okay, okay. And I when I saw
Yeah.
you in the feed when you were empowering women and just giving so dropping some gems. I was like, okay, he seems cool. Um, so what challenges have you
Yeah,
faced
I got daughters. I
during
was
your
raised by
journey?
my mother. So that's important to me, that representation. Oh,
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
say that again, sorry.
Oh, sure. What challenges have you faced during your journey in becoming a music artist?
Oh man, no sleep. uh, it's a lot of work. And in 2023, there's nobody coming to say, "Hey, show me your talent." You have to go show the world your talent, and you have to stand on it. But you can't just be an artist. You have to be a brand. You have to move around like a brand. You have to think business minded, because yes, it's okay to be an artist, but once you put it out in the world, it's for the world to consume. And at
Mhm.
some point, you start to feel, I want to get my worth back. So how do I get that back? And I think that that's a very challenging thing for independent artists. And it takes a while before you find your footing and build a bit of a circuit for you to get these funds from. So from merch, from album sales, from performances, from collaborations, endorsements. So, sync placements. It's so many different ways to get paid as an artist, but it's hard because there's no blueprint. There a lot of times there's nobody sitting here showing you, hey, this is what you need to do and this is how you get here. Right now it's like a dog eat dog industry. Entertainment industry is very, very tricky. There's a lot of people looking to take advantage of you. There's scams. There's this people that don't want the best for you, but they want to be a part of what you have going on because you're growing. Uh, I would say sacrifices as far as time goes. There's time that I don't have for myself or my family because I'm doing a show here, or I'm doing a
Mhm.
show there, or I'm on set here for from 8 o'clock in the morning to 1:30 in the morning. Like that's a whole day. And my daughter wants to play Fortnite, but I can't because or she wants to play Roblox, but I can't because I'm on set. So those types of things kind of like they're very challenging to me because I do all of this for my daughters. So if they aren't there to, see the fruits of the labor, it's kind of tough, for me to accept it as this is the way it is. So my constant challenge is always trying to balance the life, but also I want to achieve success. I want to reach that pinnacle that I feel like I've worked and earned, and I bust my butt for it. So it's everything is a challenge. Being human is a challenge. So yeah. Sorry, that was a little lengthy answer.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I love it. I love it. Yeah, definitely is a challenge. I don't know if there's a balance to life. I too have kiddos, so one of them is yelling for his dinner. But anyway,
Sir, it happens. It happens.
I know it's so funny. Um, so how have you persevered despite the challenges?
Uh, a lot of therapy, prayers, leaning on friends and family and loved ones. There's times where my therapist might not be available, and I might need to get something off my chest, or I just might need to be rubbed or held, or I just need some comfort. So that helps a lot. I walk. I've gotten into boxing recently, so I'm training on that. That helps a little bit. Working out really helps me. Playing basketball, gaming. It's a lot of different things. Times with my daughters. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but you have to make time to do them. You can't just expect that they're going to come because it could be a whole 5 months before you realize I've done nothing for myself. So, you want to make sure that you make time for yourself. You want to make sure that you understand when you're feeling down, like recognize it. Don't run away from it, follow through with it because it's a learning journey for you. You can figure out what you're feeling inside, and then from there you figure out your solutions on how to address it. So I just think that with time and patience with yourself, because it can be hard and you can want to give up many times, but when you have patience, you remain disciplined, you keep your focus on elevating versus looking backwards and thinking about what you did wrong. We punish ourselves often, and
Mhm.
you don't want to do that, because we're human. Like there's these
Mhm.
unrealistic expectations that people have where you have to have your life perfect. Everything has to be perfect. That's just not human. That's just not possible. Even if you had $1 billion, there's no way your life is perfect because it just doesn't work like that. So just having grace with yourself, loving yourself.
Mhm.
I think that has helped me a lot. And yeah, just understanding, learning myself and
Mhm.
learning what my triggers are, or understanding why I'm responding to certain things because of this. I might have went through this trauma when I was younger, so
Mhm.
this is my traumatic response. Okay, how do I combat that traumatic response to something that can actually help me grow? So I think that's how I balance myself and kind of stay even killed. I have hard times though. I won't lie and not admit that I have times myself where I'm like, I'm over it. However, I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. I don't give up. I don't believe in giving up. So I fight it as long as I can.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I froze for a second because I'm very intrigued on what you're on your delivery for self love. Most definitely. I'm like, is he reading my mind? Because that's what I go through. I'm like, you know what? Just whatever. I just want to go back in my turtle shell and.
Yeah, yeah. I swear I have moments. I call it my cave, and people, my friends, they know me. Like I was like, yeah, I'm about to go back into my cave, and they'll say, "You all right, bro?" Because when you say that, that normally means like you're feeling overwhelmed, and I'm like,
Mm,
yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed. So, it's good to have a certain support system. Like, and
right,
you have to trust people. One
right.
thing, like when I was homeless and when I went through the suicidal ideations and everything, I
Mm,
pushed everybody away from me.
mm,
But I pushed everybody away from me, and there was nobody able to be there for me in times that I needed people most.
mm,
And because why do I need help? I'm a man. I don't need no help. I can do it myself.
right.
But that's not real. That's
Yeah.
unrealistic. You have to accept that people
Mm,
are there to love you.
yeah.
We try so hard to be the ideal person, but even Superman had Lois to depend on. Batman
Right.
Batman has Alfred.
Hmm.
Iron Man has Pepper. It's every superhero has somebody that is not a superhero to
Right.
humble them.
Mm,
So listen to your friends, listen to your family, take some time for
right.
yourself. Listen to yourself when your body is speaking to you. Take that break. Do what you have to do. That
Mm,
hamster wheel that society has us in, it sometimes can distract us from caring about ourselves. But it's
mm.
important that you recognize that and get back to being yourself before you lose yourself in emotion.
Wow. That's deep. Wow, you sound like my brain. You must be look. You must be a Leo like me. No.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh Lord. Okay. Okay. You're good. You're good. Um. So I know that you described the self love, but how would you describe Broadway Louie overall?
I'm a healing person.
Ah,
I'm a
okay.
healing. I'm a healing soul. I love to love. I've been through some things, so I'm a little charred. I'm a little
Mm,
stubborn. I'm a little headstrong at times, but uh, I'm very open to criticism. I'm very open to growth. I'm very open to a mirror being placed on me because what I learned when I went through my worst is you
mm,
can't be afraid to look yourself in the mirror. So
mhm,
I think that when I speak of myself, I love I love to help people. I love to extend myself to people so that people could feel like somebody's there for them.
mhm,
Um, I love to make people happy, smile, laugh. I love to love. I think that's would be on my tombstone. He loved to love. Like
mhm,
that's what I care most about. I want people to understand that it's
mm.
more than like whatever's around you. Because when you're gone, all that's left is what people think about you in here. So I'm like adamant on when I leave this earth. I'm not perfect at all. However, I'm gonna do the best that I can to make sure that when I leave this earth, people have an impression of me that was lasting and can help them go on in life because we need
Mhm.
that. So that's what I think about when I think about myself. I think about forever.
Wow. Yeah, I love to love too. And the funny thing is, the show is my motto is showing love full circle.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. Because it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and we need to do that more as humans.
Mhm. That's so true because at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, money, fame, whatnot, it goes away, right?
Right,
Because we all have to go. Our energy um, goes elsewhere. So
right, right.
yeah, we take off the husk, and then what we have is a ball of light, and that's it.
Basically, basically.
So if you had your choice to of three artists to open up a show for, who would they be?
Alive or does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So Nipsey for sure.
Okay.
Nipsey Hustle for sure. Jay-Z.
Okay.
The last artist I would say to open up for, um, oh, um, I would say Wu Tang, and it's crazy
Oh,
because Wu Tang and Nas are going to be here in September, or is it this month or next month? I don't know if it's this month or next month, but I've been trying to figure out how I can open up for them, but I can't get no contact. So I'm hoping the universe will work its magic. But I would love to open up for Wu Tang. I've had the pleasure of opening up for KRS One, De La
oh,
Soul, Slum Village, Fun Master Flex, DJ Drama. Like I've had the pleasure of opening up for a lot of like classic,
yeah.
solidified Hall of Fame people. And it's just a few more on my list that I would love to meet, open up for, have a conversation with, like just to soak game in, soak knowledge in from, because there's so much knowledge that they've learned along the way. And Nipsey, I just think when we were
Mm,
kindred souls, and
mm,
Nipsey's Victory Lap album really helped me when I was homeless.
mm,
Like really, really helped me when I was homeless. Like I listened to that album daily, nightly, and it gave me a lot of motivation to get up out my situation.
mm.
So Nipsey, Jay Z, and I say Wu Tang, or I don't know. The list could go on. LL Cool J,
Mm.
some legends. I would Drake, Kendrick, J Cole. I would love to open up for those guys as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love the list that you gave. Let's do, yeah,
yeah,
definitely love Nipsey Hustle for sure, for sure.
yeah. I'm a hip hop historian. I love music, especially hip hop.
Yeah, it's the culture. I know it's cliche to say, but it really is. Um, your latest album entitled Magic, and by the way, I like the way you spelled it. The Magick
Yeah, yeah.
was. Oh, go ahead.
I got that from Jackie. Jackie was a heavy influence on the album.
Mm,
Uh, she was a part of my healing process,
mm,
uh, and the idea of magic came from her, and then it just grew into an idea of women are magic. Period.
mm,
Especially black women in my life specifically because my daughters and my mother, Jackie and others, they helped me get through a lot of tough times. And when I
mhm,
look back on my life, I'm very much alive and thriving because of black women in my life. So
mhm,
I wanted to make sure that I was like known. But also there's a stigma that, black men don't love black women. And there's that dialogue that keeps on happening where there's no appreciation for one another. So I
mhm,
wanted to communicate like, hey, here's a guy that grew up in the projects, works in corporate. I have locks. The ideal look that media and corporate America says isn't a good look.
mhm,
He's not. He's a thug or whatever the case it is. Like, no, I'm a very intelligent person. I just love this hairstyle, but I also love women, and I want them to know that guys who look like me and come from where I come from also feel like me. It's not just me. So the narrative of black men don't love their women, I want it to die. I want it to be gone because it's
Mm-hmm.
not true in my life. I can't speak for everybody, but I know from my personal perspective, the guys that I'm around, the men that I'm around, we love our women, we respect our women. Ain't nobody putting their hands on nobody. It's just a certain respect. I grew up in a generation where you respected the women, and that was
Mm-hmm.
important. Open doors, get roses, walk on the left side of the street or the right side of the street to make sure you get splashed on or you get hit by the car, whatever it is. I was taught that that's the respect you want to carry. So I just wanted to translate it through my album, and I think that also the album, me being a poet, I think that just made it easier for me to just flow through those songs and just because I've never done that type of music before. I found my space in a space that I've never been in because I'm a lyricist. Everybody knows that I'm a rapper's rapper, as I like to say. And that album was me literally like singing, being
Uh-huh.
free. Like I feel like I channeled the spirit of Michael Jackson on a song. I was really like having fun and letting it go. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Yeah, looks like a shout out to Lita Red. Thank you so much. And she mentioned Pringles. I like Pringles as well.
Pringles are nasty. They don't have no taste in them.
But my ultimate favorite is Doritos. So when I get
I
a
like the
chance.
uh the the
Yeah.
uh the real hot Doritos.
Oh, the spicy ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the magic, right? It was
Yes, ma'am.
released in 2023, and Growth was also released in 2021.
Hmm.
Um, what was your inspiration? I know you mentioned the inspiration for Magic, but what was your inspiration for Growth?
That was I would say I started working on growth. Growth took me a couple of years to work on.
Uh huh.
So it took a while of a build up because I was just still coming out of homelessness. And but and I didn't have confidence in myself no more. I didn't think I didn't want to do music. I didn't want to film. I kind
Mm-hmm.
of shut myself out from that world. And
Okay.
I went radio silent for a long time. I think I deactivated from social media for like a year.
Wow.
And it was very hard for me. It was really, really hard for me. But with therapy, as I went to therapy more and more and more, a lot of tears being shed every day. I'm crying on the way to therapy. I'm crying at therapy. I'm crying
Mm-hmm.
leaving therapy. And there's a lot of emotions that I was breaking down and a lot of barriers that I was breaking down within myself that I didn't even know were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that as that went on, I felt more comfortable being myself, like
Right.
no longer hiding behind a persona, but purely being myself. And with that, I started writing more purely. Like I was writing more about what am I seeing right now, like on alarm
Mm-hmm.
clock. I mean, alarm when I'm rapping about how I want to drive off the bridge. I really felt like that. I really had thoughts of driving off the bridge. So it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like a journal. Like growth was a journal for me and
Mm-hmm.
a way for me to show myself like, hey, you have grown through this and you're still growing. So that's
Yeah.
why when you listen to growth, it kind of goes from like a very serious tone to as the tape goes on more and
Mm-hmm.
more towards the end, you notice that it's more of a happier because I was growing through it in real
Right.
life, but also I was growing musically to where I wanted to become more than just a rapper. I wanted to
Mm.
be more than a lyricist. I wanted to be looked at as a full artist, like a
Right.
chorus, like the full experience. So growth was a culmination of everything that I was going through,
Mm-hmm.
childhood trauma. Like, hey
Right.
dad, like that's
Yeah.
real life. Hey
Right.
dad, 16. 16 was about me growing up as a kid, thinking about, watching these guys on the screen, but never realizing I'm going to be on a big screen as well at some point,
Mm-hmm.
that things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So growth was just a trip. And then, so I have it, the album, one of my top fans, they printed out the album for me,
Oh,
and put it on the canvas. And like when you
wow.
look at the album cover, like that's my mother right there. Hold on, where's
Mhm.
she at? There's my mother.
Yeah.
There's me, my basketball influence. As a kid, I was like, I stayed with a basketball in my hands. If you look down there, that's my youngest daughter, Lyric.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest daughter, Cameron. And then you see, like, I got the different influences across. So I got the shirt with Nipsey on it.
Right.
Um, at the top right here, this is my car accident where I was basically I had to sleep on my stomach. I had to lay on my stomach for 7 weeks straight.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't walk for 4 months. This is my best friend's funeral right here. So it's like, growth was a whole lot of everything that was going on. In the corner over here, this is my sister that passed away. Rest in peace to Tasha. So growth was just like a moment in my life of my time to grow. And
Yeah.
I have a sequel that's going to be coming sometime next year called Still Growing. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a follow up to growth because I'm still growing.
Yeah.
It's a never ending process.
Right. Yeah, I peeped that earlier. I really like that album cover.
Thank you. Yeah.
And was that picture with you in the Navy or?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. One of them when I was playing basketball for the Navy,
mhm.
and yeah. So yeah, I made sure to kind of include everything that was in my mind. And to me, growth took 4 years. So a lot of those things that I encountered in those 4 years, I
Right.
documented it on the album.
Wow. Well, we need to get out. We'll talk offline about the military, and hopefully you're able to get the VA straight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm almost there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
almost there.
I have a folks that can help as well, so I,
Awesome,
I'll put you in touch with them.
awesome.
Um, so how did you prepare for your recordings? I know you said that it took about 2 years for was it growth or magic?
Magic took a couple of years, and growth took about 4 years. But when I say that for growth being 4 years,
Right.
it didn't take me 4 years to record it. It took me 3 years of experiences and then 1 year of working on the album.
Okay.
So that's why I say 4 years. So it wasn't really 4 years, but with growth, it was a funny story because the producer is one producer for the entire project. His name is Bluff God, one of the guys that I met when I first started rapping, and since then he's been by my side. In the music industry, you don't meet a lot of genuine people. He's like, I can legit call him my brother, and he's been there for me, and I've been there for him. I forever love him. He sent me and multiple artists the same like 6 folders. So it was like 6 months worth of instrumentals. It was October, November, December, January, February, and March. So he sent that to all of us. It took me a while because, like I said, I was going through what I was going through. But one day, I finally started going through the folders and listening to the instrumentals and the beats.
Mm-hmm.
I think for growth, I recorded about 30 songs, and I put 18 on the album. All 30 songs and the instrumentals that I chose, nobody else had chose those. Nobody else had chose them. Nobody, and he sent it to at least 10 artists. So
Wow.
the irony or coincidence that nobody chose any of those beats for that album, it just meant it was meant to be. Like that was a
Yeah.
crazy thing when he told me that. I was like, you really sent that out? And I was the only one that chose the beats that I chose.
Wow. Yeah, definitely the universe said, "Hey, this is what you got to do."
Yeah. Magic was kind of different. Magic was it was a few things. One was I had some of my female fan base was saying, "Can you make softer music?" Because
Ah,
obviously with growth, it was a lot of depression, there was a lot of hard stuff, it was some sad stuff. So
right.
I could rap, of course, and I'm talented. However, people do want to hear. So when a few fans told me that it was one fan and two fan and three fan, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to really figure this out because this is coming a common theme. So I'm like softer music. I'm a bit of a teddy bear. So this would be a piece of cake. I had a YouTuber ask me, could I create a song for her intro on her YouTube channel,
Uh-huh.
and that's what Bless was. So Bless,
Mm.
the last song on the album, was for a YouTuber named Bless. Her name is actually Bless, and
Wow.
yeah, we did the song. She loved it, and that was the first song I recorded for the album. But at the time, it wasn't for the album. So boom, I get another beat, and it's the Monica sample. And my producer sent it to me, and he knows how I feel about beats. And I'm like, you knew what you was doing when you sent me this. And that was the second song. So from there, it was like, okay, I'm really forming this sound. Like, okay. And with Blessed, because I was singing on it, I felt more comfortable working on the rest of the album because, like, hey, I already sung on Blessed. I already showed I could sing a little bit. So let's just keep this going. So with that, it was more like I listened to a lot of different art, a lot of different music. Let me take some of those influences of what I listened to, like Blast, Bryson Tiller, Drake, Burna Boy, all these different artists. Even Bad Bunny, all these different artists I listen to. Let me see what I can take from them and add it into my own little way because I'm original. I don't like to copy anybody, but listening to their sounds, I can make my own sound out of those sounds. And then it grew into, okay, so how do I put my personal touch on this? Well, I love older music. I love the generational music. I was kind of raised in the 90s and in the 2000s and everything, so I was able to see the golden times of music. I was able to, hear the Marvin Gayes and the Luther Vandrosses and the Sades and the Clarence Carters. I was able to hear those, the James Brown. I was able to hear those. So then I'm growing up with the Ushers, the Tevin Campbells, the Avants, the Neos, the Dreams, the Takes, the Tyrese's. So I'm listening
Yes,
to these
yes.
artists growing up. So my music library is like huge. So
Uh-huh.
we are the best. Scorpios are the best without a doubt. Scorpios are the best without a doubt. So I was trying to figure out how I could put all of that into the album. But my producer, Marco, and you'll notice a theme where I like to mainly work with one producer or project. I don't like to have a bunch of. I learned that early on. If I work with one artist for a whole project or one producer for a whole project, it's more cohesive. So he just had more and more beats for me, and I'm just listening to him. And in different days, I'm just finding different energies. And once I find the motion, I'm on it. So yeah, that's how Magic came about. It took a process. It was a process. I had songs that I recorded in 2021 for Magic, and I didn't even know it.
Wow. It just magically happened. That's what happened.
Absolutely, absolutely, it did, it did, it
Don't
did.
get me don't get me started.
It's magically delicious.
Oh boy. Yes, it is. So if you weren't recording music or acting, what would you be doing?
That's a great question. I mean, because I still work in real life. um, I,
Same
I
here.
think I think I would still do something with people because to me, like my art is about touching people, not in a weird way, but like like my art is about reaching people, like reaching people. So I think that, and I'm still gonna do it even with my art, but I think a big part of me is wanting to help people. So however I can figure out a way to help people, whether it be nonprofit organizations, whether it be being a middleman to bring in resources, I think that's what I'm going to do that anyway. But if I wasn't doing music, I think that that's what I would be focused on as a whole. As an entertainer, I get
Mhm.
more. I'm able to bring more together. I would think. But yeah, I think I would just be still helping people.
Oh, okay. Service, yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I want to be the world's biggest philanthropist.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. That's my goal too.
Okay,
we
DJ S.
definitely
Let me add DJ S right now.
yeah, we definitely need to get together for the philanthropy efforts. Um, so how has the internet and social media influenced your career?
Um, um, social media is a gift and a curse, but I
Mm-hmm.
will say, it's I use it as a tool, and it's helped
Mm-hmm.
me continuously grow. Uh, I mean, I've sold my album because of social media. Because of COVID, it changed a lot of touring, it changed a lot of in person things. So you kind of had to figure things out. So social media is obviously a huge tool. A lot of us, a lot of people created careers during the pandemic with social media. So,
Mm-hmm.
it has its benefits, but I also think it has its faults where too many things are dependent on social media numbers or
Yeah.
social media activity. And it's like, let's just focus on the talent and then worry about everything else after that. Because now what you have is a bunch of talentless people with followers. That don't do no good to nobody.
That is true. And can you elaborate a little bit or give an example of how that is with social media with people that are talentless and multiple followers?
Well, I will say that even with me saying that, I still commend hustlers.
Okay.
I'm a hustler. So if you're gonna benefit from whatever you do what you do. Make your money. If you got a following from doing nothing, that's on you. I'm not gonna hate. I look back, I can reflect like, but in the same sense, I'm not a hater. So it's like, whatever you got to do to get your money or to do what you need to do it as long as it's not detrimental to to my culture. I try to turn a blind eye to it. Even if it
Mhm.
does, people are themselves. I'm not in the place to judge anyone. I've been down before, so I won't judge anyone. I won't do certain things. I'm not good with like
Mhm.
I get told all the time I need to get better at social media. I don't really care for it, but I understand it's a necessary sacrifice in order to reach my
Mhm.
goals. So that's how I look at social media. It's a tool. That's the
Yeah.
best thing. That's the best word to describe it. It's a tool. Use it as a tool. Don't use it for anything else like validation or anything because once you
Okay.
looking for validation on social media, you lost already.
Basically. Yeah. There's life beyond the screen.
Go outside, touch the grass.
Right. Go do some grounding, get the sunlight
Absolutely.
in your skin
Absolutely.
for real.
Absolutely.
That vitamin D is very vital.
It is.
Um, so if you could change anything about the entertainment industry, what would it be?
Get rid of all the scammers and snakes. Make it like just make it solid. Like just pay people what they worth. Like just stop getting over on people using ways and contracts and language from 1950. Like update things. Like actually appreciate the creators that's keeping this world going around. Especially
Right.
with music and film and art. Like we literally keep the world going around.
Hmm.
That's a real thing. Like we keep the world going around. Yes, everybody has their own place in life in the cycle,
Hmm.
but entertainment is a huge part of that. Like everything is entertainment. Everything is entertainment. You hear instrumentals when you're on the elevator. You hear instrumentals
Yes.
on hold music when you're calling a business. So everything is, just treat us like it, especially with my community. Like, stop taking our art and devaluing it, and
Mhm.
then giving us the pennies after you devalue it. No,
Mm.
like give us our worth. Treat us with the respect that you treat everybody
Mhm.
else. And stop scamming the artists. It's 2023. Like, let's do
Yeah.
good business. If that's one thing I would change about the industry is good business. Just do
Mm.
good business. Do good business. Get rid of the people that was from the 50s and the 40s in the industry that see what they see and still look at certain people of color in a certain
Mhm.
way. Get rid of
Mm.
them. Let's get some fresh blood in there. Let's get some people
Mhm.
with some new ideas in there. Just like the government. Get these people with
Yeah.
these outdated ideas out of here. Get these people that don't really care about the people out of here and get
Right.
good people in there that actually care about the art and care about furthering the art. Don't get
Mhm.
me wrong, everybody wants to make money, but also let's remain and keep dignity and keep like
Mhm.
a eye on what the biggest a eye on what the biggest goal is or what the goal is at the end of the day. The goal is to continue to further the culture, continue to further entertainment,
Mhm.
but in the same sense, maintain integrity. Let's do
Mhm.
that. So yeah.
For sure. That is everyone listening. I think everyone's listening. So, where do you find your inspiration?
life,
Mm.
life, my daughters,
Yes.
um, anything really. Like I literally can go outside and look at something and be like, I was walking, saw a tree, I thought about, and then it goes from there. And I'm inspired by life. Like when you listen to my music, a lot of my music is just real life. Like it's just me putting my life on a paper. That's it. So that's what I'm inspired by. I'm inspired by life. I rarely have writer's blocks. And if I have writer's block, I don't think about writing. I just don't write for a while. And after I've had more experiences and I'm comfortable with myself, then I'll go ahead and put it on paper or put it in a song. But yeah, my biggest inspiration is life. Like life is and the chase of being successful and not being a failure. That's my other inspiration. Like I refuse to fail. I
Mm.
refuse to sit back and give up on myself or not push myself to the limit because I refuse to be 60 years old, 70 years old and regretting the fact that I never
Mm.
did what I wanted to do or I never chased that dream because so many
Mm.
people do it and then they despise the other people that did it because they never did it. I don't want to be that guy. I want to push
Right.
myself to the limit, reach success, put my
Mm.
kids in a position to where they can reach success as well, and boom, that's my inspiration.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Like Les Brown says, what is the most rich property, real estate
Yourself.
in the world? Yes, it's in yourself, but the graveyard, right? So the graveyard is the most valuable real estate because everybody had a dream and they never accomplished it, never even put one foot in front of the other to start it.
Yeah,
So
that's a great
most
analogy.
most definitely. I could go with analogies all day long. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. So, what is the best advice you've been given?
Oh, my cousin for sure. Strategy over emotion.
Mm.
Strategy over emotion. Like that. She told me that uh last year. Last year I was going through a real tough time. My grandfather passed and then my cat passed.
Oh
And
wow.
towards the end of the year, I just got really like depressed and I got really down on myself. And it started to get a little hard for me. And I
Mm.
just remember her telling me, like, I know things are frustrating, but just remember strategy over emotion. You have
Mm.
to move with strategy over emotion. It's okay to feel away, but move with strategy over emotion because that's going to help you elevate. Things happen. Life is
Yeah.
literally life. I tell
Mm.
people this all the time. Life is life. Life is going to happen as it happens. If the word bad and good were never, if the words bad and good were never created, we wouldn't know how to describe life.
Mm.
We would just accept it as it is. So,
That's
I tell people live to make memories, always live to make memories because that's all you have left. That's all people have of you when you're gone. And
hmm
then, strategy over emotion. I think that that's a strong one. It gives you a base to move off of. Like, oh, I'm
hmm
so upset at this job, or oh, I'm so upset that this happened and this happened. Okay, now what?
hmm
Are you going to just run and respond immediately without thinking it through because you're so emotionally attached?
right.
No, take your time, think of a strategy, and address it after you've figured it out. Don't move
Right.
with emotion because I used to do that a lot. I would get
Mm.
upset. I used to have anger management growing up, so like I would get upset and get flustered, and I would respond purely off of how it made me feel.
Mm.
But that's not always the right response. It's
Right.
sometimes it's some spaces where you can respond with emotions,
Right.
but in most dire situations, you don't want to respond with emotion. You want to actually think it through
hmm
and then move forward because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to make a decision that you could possibly regret
Yeah.
all because you disrespected somebody because you was in your feelings
Mm.
and you
hmm
can't take that back. So yeah, strategy over emotions and live to make memories. It's a saying that me and my brother came up with years and years ago, and we've been saying it since.
Wow. Wow. Yes, definitely. When you said strategy over emotions, I thought of the third day, right? Because, like, for instance, you start something, and then the third day, like, you start working out, your diet's good. And the third day, you're like, you know what? I think I'm just going to have some, I don't know, Chick fil A or. Chick-fil-A is not that bad.
You're
some
gonna have
some
some
junk-
sugar.
some junk food, yes, something.
You're gonna
And
have some
and
ice cream.
oh, sorry,
You're gonna have some ice cream.
yeah, ice cream, ice cream. Ain't nothing wrong with ice cream, but anyway, I know that's my Achilles heel. But that sounds like the third day because everybody goes through the third day, right? And you're gonna have to keep repeating like that strategy, right? And even though you don't feel like doing something, you still have to do it because that's life. That's life doesn't stop, right? I
Nope.
mean, it just
Nope.
like everything keeps moving, and you have to move with it, with
Right.
the current. Yep.
Correct.
Love it, love it. So what's next for Broadway Louie, and what message would you like to give your fans and up and coming artists?
What's next is the Magic Deluxe album.
Okay.
So I recorded a lot of songs for Magic. Some of them didn't make the first cut. So either I'm gonna split those into either a separate project
Mhm.
or do a Magic Deluxe album and repackage the album with like 5 or 6 extra songs that that I did enjoy but didn't make the album. Due to cohesiveness, I felt like they might have not fit the way the album was sounding. So yeah, then I'm going back to my rap space. So like I said, I'm working on Still Growing. But before that, I have a couple of EPs that I want to release. I want to plan on releasing them before the end of the year, but Magic has been doing so well, so great all year. It's kind of hard for me to stop promoting that right now. So I'm still on the Magic train, but behind the scenes, I'm working on a lot of different sounds. I've recorded, I've recorded a lot of music. I don't stop recording, so I don't stop writing. I don't stop creating. So I'm always thinking about what's my next drop. And then I'm working on a TV show in Orlando called Flesh and Greed. It's similar to Power, Get Rich or Die Trying. I'm also on a TV show right now called Transform, which is about transforming yourself, weight loss, mental health, making sure you become the best you. That's a
Mhm.
reality show that we're doing right now. I have a couple of movies that I'm locked up for before the end of the year. So yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy and booked. More performances. Wind down Wednesday, next Wednesday. So yeah, it's just more performances, more movies, and more opportunities. Hopefully to come. As far as uh, as far as advice, um, I would say love yourself. This goes for artists and people in general. Love yourself. Like learn how to love yourself. Like really do the shadow work to understand who you are and what you really feel inside
Mhm.
versus what you put on social media or what you act like
Mhm.
for others. We all have these different faces that we have for family, for coworkers,
Mhm.
so it's like, be solid with who you are inside. Love
Yeah.
yourself because that's going to resolve a lot of issues for you as far as self confidence and in those down moments. You're able to reassure yourself versus having to go look for it in other places. As far as advice for artists specifically, learn the business. Learn the business. Learn how to make your money because
Mm.
you're gonna get tired of doing stuff for free. You're gonna get tired of being jerked around. Learn the paperwork, learn the language,
Mhm.
uh, figure out ways to make income because streaming ain't gonna pay you enough.
Right.
So learn how to, get some merch out, learn how to get syncing, learn how to do different things so that you have multiple streams of income and you never have to worry about, oh, well, I haven't done this in so long. Now don't put all your eggs in one bucket. Make sure you stretch yourself and try to find different ways to invest more into yourself. Everything is
Mm.
an investment when you're an independent artist. So
Mm.
invest in yourself, believe in yourself, do the work. Don't just rush to do things just because you see everybody else doing it. Do the
Yeah.
research, figure out what kind of artist you want to be, figure out your branding because it's all about that now. You can't just go
Mm.
say, "Oh, I got the talent." No, you have to be the full package. Figure out what your full package is. Everybody's isn't the same, but
Mhm.
believe in yourself and do your homework.
Mhm. I like that. So, if you could give like a little tidbit on how to formulate your package, or seek like guidance, right, for a new artist or ones that are seasoned,
Mhm.
what advice would you give them as far as or tools or what have you? What would you steer them to in order to gain that knowledge?
I would say Spotify has these Spotify sessions where they teach how to get playlisting. Spotify has different sessions where you can learn a lot about Twitch, where you can learn about all these opportunities that you can
Mhm.
hone in on to build your brand. United Masters, whatever streaming platform you use or distributor, take advantage of whatever benefits they have, resources that they have.
Mhm.
Google was my best friend and still is.
Yeah.
Whenever I don't know anything, I Google it, I look it up,
Uh-oh.
I look it up and research it, and then you have to meet these different people so they can guide you in the right direction. Really, it's only like time because everybody's different, so you have to find your own way along the way. It's different for everybody though. I would say um, get a team for sure. Make sure you have a team and not just a team if everybody wants to be a star. Like build a real team to where like you have a real assistant or somebody behind the scenes and doing these things. Because as an artist,
Mhm.
it's going to be a lot on you to do. You have to get good with systems. Yeah, I would just say Google. Google is a really good tool. YouTube is a really good tool. Study, like
Mhm.
study your favorite artists. Watch your favorite artists and see how they move or see what they do as far as
Mhm.
promotion. See what they do as far as engaging with their
Mhm.
fans. There's seminars, there's
Mhm.
classes you can look up. You have to just put yourself out there though. The biggest thing is like the same thing in comedy.
Mhm.
Just put yourself out there. The fastest way to learn and fail, put yourself out there. That's the only way you're gonna learn. Everybody doesn't have the luxury or luckiness of being scooped up and swept away into the riches all because somebody saw you. That doesn't normally happen. I'm here to tell you that's more so I know that person and that person knows that person and that person knows that person. So this is how that happened. No, a lot of us got to do the real work. So if you want to build your own worth, do your work. You know what I'm saying, and research that research. Hire lawyers. If you don't understand something, if somebody reaches out to you to do a deal, hire a lawyer. Do not do anything without reading it through. Uh, so yeah, I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Um, all right. Well, the to summarize Broadway Louie, I would have to say that he has grit. That is the word of the evening, grit. And with that
Yeah, I
being
can say that.
said, grit because of his resiliency on all the things that he's been challenged with in life, and also just you're like an encyclopedia it seems, which is good. Well, this is
I read the
streaming.
dictionary growing up for fun.
What happened?
I read the dictionary growing up for fun.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Well, I used to be in the spelling bee. I know I'm a nerd. I love words. So, and poetry as well. But right now, this is streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I will upload this feed into the Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. Make sure that you tune in with Broadway
Awesome.
Louie. And I have all your information on here as well. And if you could hold tight after the show, I have some questions. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to tap in with Broadway Louie, NNO 360. And we will see you on the next episode. Have a good evening.